I was at Greenwell State Park, and this was May 31st. Windy, sort of warm, starting in the mid-70s, and it got up to about 86 before I was done. Feeling humid, feeling summertime. And Greenwell's not necessarily my favorite spot. It's very close to home, but all of the trails are very farm field-ish and not back up in the woods and not single track. Except for the trail I started. I started on the white, and that proved to be a mistake. So buggy down in there that even with a lot of bug spray on, I was just absolutely getting swarmed. And I had to have both hands and often my hat just flailing, trying to keep the bugs off. Somehow they would zoom into the dime-sized spot on my left wrist, for example, that I had missed with the bug spray. That's what this hike was about. I think the rest of it got captured just fine. This is a pawpaw tree. There's a lot of them through here. Pawpaws always like to grow in areas that are fairly wet, so you see them down in creek valleys. And they're pretty easy to tell because of this huge single lobed leaf with a little point on the end. In the fall, and it's a very brief period, around late August, early September, the fruits of a pawpaw mature, and they are pear-shaped. Wow, there's a lot of pawpaw trees through here. They're like a pear-shaped green at first, and then they turn yellow, and you can see all the, oh, like, yeah, here's some. Is that a pawpaw, first of all? Yeah. So here's some baby fruits that are starting to grow. And around about September, those get to be about the size of your hand. And they're really tasty to just eat right off the tree, fresh. Have sort of a banana-y type of consistency and flavor to them. And so what I hear, and I've never tried this, the window is so narrow it's really hard to come out in the woods and find them when they're ripe. But I hear if you pluck them when they're green and then let them ripen on your counter for a little bit till they turn kind of a deep yellow brownish color, that works out really well. So I'm gonna have to see if I can time it this year and look what I almost stepped on. Come on, little guy. I'm out of the woods, and as much as I dislike the sun, the wind is nice out here, and there are no bugs anymore. Yay! I'm on the yellow trail now, which I've never hiked on. It sort of goes around the RC modeling field here. So we may see some little airplanes flying around too. We'll see. There he is, straight up. Red-tailed hawk. I'm sure you can hear him. What you probably can't hear is the one that's over behind me, probably half a mile away, that I can hear faintly calling and responding to that. Every time you see a commercial or a video clip of a bald eagle making this impressive raptor yell, it's actually a red-tailed hawk sound that they play. And you can tell it sounds impressive. The eagles are more of a chirping kind of bird, like a... Well, that sounded more like a turkey, but you get the idea. So I just got well and truly scared momentarily. I'm walking along and the bushes start shaking. Something big is coming through. And I back off and 2 groundhogs pop out. They sure were making a lot of racket for something that size. One of them saw me and turned around, went back into the bushes. The other one waddled off down the trail. I wasn't quick enough to get a picture of it. But that actually scared me. I almost stepped on that black snake back there. I did not see him until I was right on top of him. And he slithered away pretty quick, as you saw. I'm on the red trail now, and I had no idea that red was single track like this through the woods. So a pleasant surprise, but hopefully it's not as buggy as the white one was. I may have to retreat. And this trail is petering out. I thought that was an intersection back there, but oh no, it keeps going. Not as heavily used as some of the others apparently. So I may get lost in here too. That'll be fun. The trail in the woods didn't last long. It did indeed peter out. When I went back to that intersection, I followed it maybe 25 feet and then broke out on one of these trails again. So the trails here are not really, you know, with the exception of a couple, the white one I was on, and then there's an orange one that kind of goes up and down Creek Valley. Most of them are like this. They're really more like roads along the edge of a pasture, or at least an old pasture that's now growing up. They keep them wide enough that a vehicle can get back here apparently. But like I say, it's okay in its own way. At least the bugs aren't out here as bad. Surprising little spot, and just in time. So I was looking for a place to stop and get some water and adjust my pack a little bit. But it's a little picnic ground on a spur overlooking this nice little creek. You know, little creek in the southern Maryland sense of the word, which means, you know, navigable tidal body of water. So I'm always just a little bit too slow getting the camera out. And part of that is because the animals know I'm coming long before I'm aware that they're there. But when I first walked up here, a blue heron took off from about right where I'm standing and went down into that creek and was squawking all the way. And blue heron's such a beautiful bird, but they've got the most god-awful call. Squawk is the right word for it. That's a big snake. Like 7-8 feet long. Buddy, I'm not gonna hurt you. His tail is way over here. Yeah, he's being fairly aggressive. He doesn't want me around. And I get it. Just leave him alone. Well, you can see through there, and maybe there'll be an opening, maybe there won't. But that's the Tucson River. So we made it all the way up to the river. A bald eagle just flew out of one of these trees, and I hear an osprey nearby. Ospreys and eagles don't usually get along very well, so I don't know who was in whose territory, or maybe they're just threatening each other because they're right on the edge. Hopefully there'll be a spot here where I can step out to the river. Let's try this. Work. That's a bald eagle soaring out over the middle of the river. I don't know if you can see him or not. That's the second one I've seen today. One was out over one of those little creeks back on the red trail. I'm on blue, by the way, I didn't mention. Making my way around the perimeter. I've come back around blue and gray, and I'm now on brown, which is a narrow little loop that runs out and back to the river again. Wanted to take some shots here because it's back to a single track trail and these nice straight poplar trees. Just a pretty little forest. Overall, I'm glad I'm came back to Greenwell. I haven't been here in a long time, and like I say, I recalled all of the trails being, you know, the wide mowed swaths against the edges of farm fields, and they are, you know, nice wide mowed trails, but the farm fields have grown over. Some of it's actually woody now, and even the open areas are being taken over by young locust and sycamore and poplar and a few pine trees. So it's got quite a different environment, and the you know, as I saw in Merkel, the birds are enjoying the variety of habitat. There's a lot of birds, and of course I saw the big raptors, the both bald eagles and osprey and red-tailed hawks, which was kind of cool, and then the great blue heron. And rounding out the list, I've seen 4 groundhogs. I saw a little itty-bitty baby bunny rabbit, which I thought I was going to get a picture of him, but he got spooked when he heard the camera turn on. And the itty-bitty little turtle, which I'm going to have to do some research on. I'm thinking more and more that might be a diamondback, but I'll check him out. And 2 black snakes, black rat snakes, one about 3 feet long who was content to run away, and the other about 8 feet long, which was big and bad and mean enough to turn and fight. And I don't blame him, he was a thick sucker too. So been a good morning. I'm sitting at about 6.7 miles now. And like I say, I just committed to go back out to the river and back, so we'll see how this all turns out. But yeah, pleasantly surprised, actually, and close to home. I didn't know they had kayaks at Greenwell, and I don't know why I never thought of this spot as a place to bring our canoe. It certainly could. This isn't a long walk to come down here. I might have hit a dead end on my path, though. Let's see. Yeah, sure looks that way. Yeah, nice little spot. This is called Quarter Creek. And that's the Tucson out there. Mulberries. I believe this is a white mulberry because I saw a red mulberry yesterday just on the other side of this park with a scout event, and they were getting ripe. Those are pretty tasty actually when they're ripe. That peninsula over there is right where I just was a minute ago on the Blue Trail. I dropped into the secluded little valley that is the Orange Trail. All this trail does is run up one side of a little creek and back down the other. But it's a tight, dark little trail. Might as well be another one. Another world, I mean, from up on top where the meadows are. I am headed back at this point. I think I'm just going to go back down here to the Orange Trailhead and then cut across by the old barns back to where I parked. And that cutting across will probably be in some meadows, and it's probably going to be hot. It has warmed up. It's now 20 after 11, so I've been out here for over 3 hours now. And I'm ready to call it a day. More so because of spiderweb. More so because of folks at home waiting for me. This is more like what I remember this place being. Or, I guess not quite this barren. At least, you know, hay, tall grass. It's hot out here at this point. The old barns. Home stretch. Parking lot's probably 150 yards up the road here. 8.5 miles-ish. If I'm extrapolating based on what the GPS says now. I gotta be honest, I didn't think I'd be able to do that many miles here. And there was a whole area over on the east side of the park, the Green Trail. That I believe it would be another 2 miles. So if you really wanted to make a day of it and get over 10 miles, I think you could do it. Again, glad I came out here. It's and gave it another chance. This has been a nice morning and a lot of wildlife. Although I must admit I'm seeing a lot more and observing a lot more and just in tune with a lot more when I'm out here alone. You know, part of that is you don't have other people scaring stuff away, and you're not, focused on each other. But also, when you're not carrying on a conversation with each other, you're sort of focused a little bit more on what's around you, paying attention to these little things. So, never thought I would be a solo hiker and enjoy this kind of thing, but I've really learned to like it quite a lot. So, another one in the books, about 8.5. As I said, it's just getting hotter and more humid. Hopefully we'll be over the other edge of that by the time we get up in the mountains for the AT, and that'll be, elevation will be helping us then too, but hopefully September will be cooler. I'll see you next time.